But yeah, let's go. All right, just vibe out for a second. Vibe out just for 2 seconds. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? What's up, guys? This is Just the Guys podcast. This is Logic. Look, we're about to get into some hot topics, some conversations. Yo, sit back, grab your cognac. We're about to chop it up. This is Just the Guys. So, guys, what's going on? Kamala Harris has been at it this week. She's been doing her little, it seems like a radio tour. Anybody catch any of the Kamala interviews this week?
Yep. Yeah, a little bit. What was the word she's using? She found a new word.
Holistic.
Yeah, holistic.
Yeah. Nah, man, that's an old word, man.
No, that's her new word.
Her new word.
Yeah.
That's new for her.
New for her. Wait, what is she saying it in reference to?
Everything.
Nah, but housing
7
was
times in one paragraph.
Yeah.
So, like, when she's doing these interviews, are you getting the sense like the interviewers are actually like buying what she's saying?
Not really. I mean, they got the marching orders, but you can kind of see little facial expressions and, they're not really buying it. But like I said, they got their marching orders. They got to try to pump her up as much as they can.
Yeah, what you got, Gimpy? Like, what's going on, man?
Dude, this is the machine, bro. They walk in lockstep. Dude, when she walked out of the Black Journalists Association town hall, she did because Trump made her look bad by going by himself. You had to see, first of all, she couldn't wait to get out of there. That lady bolted like her head was on fire. And the journalists were just like looking around like, oh my God, like what was that? Like, dude, this holistic thing is about housing. And if you remember, the ladies talked about it with a segment where they were making fun of The View because Sonny was saying, oh, she uses words in 3 because it's a lawyer thing. And lawyers do. Dude, she doesn't even know how holistically fits in the sentences that she uses it in, because when you listen to her talk, you could tell she's not understanding what she's saying because she's like sort of like, wait, I just used that word. Wait, I'm using it again, right? Like, it's sorry, this woman is out to lunch and we're all going to like cook if she becomes president.
Yeah, I remember.
Literally.
Yeah,
we'll have World War III with nuclear weapons.
So I remember like one time, like, because I work in tech, right? So I used to fix computers. Like, I mean, I still do every now and then, but I used to fix computers. And when you kind of explain to people like what's going on with your computer or whatever, like you tell them like little terms and stuff. And I told so one time, one of my homies, like he overheard someone talking about an IP address. So now anything wrong with the computer, does it have an IP address? Does it have, bro, the screen's broken, but what about the IP address? Does it have the IP address? Like, bro, but that's kind of how it is with this holistic word. It sounds like she's just using it whenever she can fit it in. What you got, CT?
About her interviews and her choice of words, I've always said it, man. I've made several live streams about Kamala's word salad. I think one of the reasons is that she's, just because you have a law degree, I have to say, doesn't necessarily mean you are an intellectual I'm not saying that people with law degrees aren't intelligent, but I would question how she passed the bar. I would question her. I would question everything about her based on her interview style.
I mean, do we
also, it may be a lot of it has to do with the fact that I was one of the first content creators to call it, maybe she's drunk half the time. So,
dude, Michael Malice said that on Rogan, right?
Yeah,
like, he has a whole good company with that.
Yeah, I mean, I did live streams a year and a half ago about it, and people said, "Oh, nah, she's not." And I said, "Yeah, man, there's a lot of indicators of her alcoholism. So maybe that's what it is too. When you be around people and you at night get tired and you get drunk and you just start slurring words and just saying stuff, and that sounds like Kamala to me."
Well,
and drunks
to get my column on then, right?
Drunks tend to think that they're profound, and Kamala, she swears she's so profound.
What do you mean? I am profound, bling. No.
Yeah. No.
Dude, that lady is a trip. She can read off a teleprompter, drunk as a skunk. This lady got the teleprompter dance down to a T. You give her 5 minutes of air sober, and it's downhill. So what are you going to do to fix the economy? Well, I come from 3,000 years. She went into a Putin Tucker Carlson interview. I come from a middle class family.
So that is the answer to every question, right? The middle class family.
Oh yeah,
right.
I'm going to save the country by my history.
Her neighbor was a small business owner. She mentions that a lot too.
Yeah.
You know?
What's up, little light?
But
that's one of
I think that's
people.
Yeah, I think that's a good point though. And what's your name? Gimpy? Not Gimpy. Golly, man, I've been drinking.
Dude, it's the little hats, man. We run everything. We mess you all up all the time.
You don't know what I've had before this. But,
dude, no one.
But Professor Bling. So just kind of, can you speak to that though? About now I forgot my question. I am
about her interviewing or her style of interviewing, or
no, it was man, it's gone.
Well, while you think about it, let me say this. The other thing with her is that you ever been in a situation where you're like new to something, right?
Yeah.
So you got like this, you got a lot of nervousness about you. When I first became an EMT and my first ride along in the medic unit, I'm like, damn, I don't want to make any mistakes. This is going from theory to practical. You have that little edge on you when you get into something new. She always has that awkwardness about her. Like she doesn't belong in the room and she really knows it. She knows it, but here she is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. And people are supporting it. Why? Like, I really don't understand like how, she's getting the support. And I think Dr. Ben Carson said it best when he said, this is kind of a test on if the media can essentially fabricate and generate a candidate, right? Because at the end of the primary, when she ran against Joe Biden, what was that, 2020? She was one of the most hated, not hated, but
she wasn't popular, right?
Yeah, she was unpopular, and now somehow she's supposed to represent, the savior of democracy, right? How do you go from being unliked, receiving 0 votes along the process, and being the next best thing?
So that's easy because it's all some big scam. And Chaotic was talking about it. I was on his show when he was talking about it. That's why I'm saying it. But like Candace totally tries to expose her with the birth certificate, a whole birther, that she's not really black. And she has the proof. I mean, everything about that woman is fake, right? It's artificial. So everyone's attacking it at every level, every angle, even her own people. Like Leslie Stahl is a completely friendly reporter. She's an MSNBC hack. And even an MSNBC hack had to, after giving it, she did not answer directly the question about the economy or stick any. And these are the people who are supposed to be spitting the win for her that you're talking about, and they can't even stomach what they're dealing with. So,
right.
But
I think that they actually know what's really about to happen, and I think that there's a measure of just surrender at this point. We tried to take this guy out 3 times. It's not 2, it's 3. Remember, his plane had a problem over, I think it was Ohio. Okay.
Oh, right. You're saying that's an assassination attempt?
Absolutely. After the Butler incident, his plane had a problem. Okay. And just as a side note, Boeing is going to have the new Air Force One finished in 2025. And
the one that Trump signed off on.
Yeah, tell you what, with Boeing's record lately and with what's been going on with Trump, guess what? A lot of foreign leaders will be getting a Zoom meeting. But the other thing I wanted to mention is Trump a few hours ago said that Zelenskyy is coming here to meet with him tomorrow. As a matter.
Yeah, well, that's because do you know?
Wasn't he in Pennsylvania today? Or who?
Yeah, yesterday. But no, this is a whole. election interference story. I mean, like, it's a story. So really, the quick short version is they fly him in early. Instead of sending him to the UN, they send him to Pennsylvania to go with the surrogate, Josh Shapiro, to a munitions plant that's key in arming Ukraine right before they're about to drop this aid package. While all this is going on and the right wing is throwing all this shade on this as election interference, they're disclosing that Zelenskyy offered to go meet Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, and Trump, and saying that they denied meetings with him. So now Trump is countering and saying, no, he's coming to meet with me tomorrow. Like, that's how it unfolded.
Yeah, but look a little deeper into that. First of all, the Biden administration, especially the State Department, they have got Zelenskyy by the balls, okay?
Yeah, of course.
They're not letting him do anything unless they approve it. So the fact that they're allowing him to meet with Trump speaks volumes. It says that Blinken and the rest of the people running the State Department are like, all right, this is about to happen. We're about to lose control of this situation. Let him go ahead and meet with him. Because believe me,
when you say lose control, does that imply they're going to lose the election, or when you say
it implies that the Democrats understand that Trump is winning, and they also understand that when he says that once he's got that election, and otherwise, why are you meeting with Zelenskyy?
Explain Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban is a joke.
I know. I'm talking about the tactic of releasing. If it all happens in coordination, if it's all part of a machine, right? What's the Mark Cuban angle? Mark Cuban going around the last 72 hours and making a jerk off of it.
Let me tell you, the last time Trump won, the day after the election, Mark Cuban said he was selling all of his equities.
Yeah.
Okay, because Trump was going to scuttle the market. What happened?
Trump was a socialist in the last 72 hours.
Mark Cuban lost millions because he let his emotions interfere with what little business sense he has.
And it looks like he wears mascara when he goes on TV.
Backward into success. Mark Cuban's a joke.
I don't disagree. That's not what I'm not talking about Mark Cuban, the man, right? Bling, you're one of the smartest humans I've ever dealt with on earth. Tell me what the angle of releasing a guy into the wild who's your billionaire mouthpiece, right? He's supposed to be the Elon Musk counterpart in the chat. He's supposed to be. Who else is it, right? Mm-hmm. And in the last 72 hours, he said he said stuff like Trump is a socialist. Kamala Harris was better on the border. Like, I mean, there are literal threads of the words that spewed out of that man's mouth in the last 72 hours. That is just like, dude, if you lived on the planet for the last 4 years, you can't even begin to agree with.
True. And that's some messaging for the masses. I'm talking Foggy Bottom, State Department, Anthony Blinken. This is a whole nother order of magnitude here. That they're looking at this and they're saying, based on this internal polling, he's winning.
So you're in the Ben Shapiro camp then.
So listen, the State Department, once Blinken's going to go, Trump's going to appoint his own guy. But there are people at Foggy Bottom been there for 40 years, and they want to continue to have some kind of influence after this administration is out the door. And that is why, believe me, man, when I was in D.C., it took us 2 weeks to write one letter. Okay, these people have chessboarded this thing out. They're letting him meet with him because they know Trump is winning.
I don't deny it. So do you know what Ben Shapiro keeps saying? Ben Shapiro keeps saying that they're wrong about the polling, that the polling and the tell is that they keep using expected voters, not registered voters, which is a difference, right? Because they need the electioneers, the pollsters, to target, okay, well, these are the people who are actually going to vote, so we're going to poll them instead of just going to poll people from the registered voter rolls, right, like they used to. So he's saying that they're doing that on purpose to lie with statistics, right? So to get the target data that it's neck and neck when it's really not, when they're like men are breaking hard away from Kamala Harris, like in a way that you can't hide if you just take general data, that you have to cherry pick it. Like, so you're saying that despite what everyone's saying, the race isn't neck and neck. It's
no. In Kamala Harris's campaign, they're looking at internal polling. Okay?
I understand that.
What we get from these jive-ass news agencies is completely different.
Yeah, but like Nate Silver, okay, I agree with that. But again, there's Nate Silver, there are the betting odds that they now manage and run. There's the insurance, then the actuary numbers that if you're really in the know about, like, because I live near DC, I worked at DC, I know about that nonsense where they get the math geniuses on K Street to write up, right? They're all showing these, again, what Ben Shapiro says, and I don't want to give him credit, but that's where I've heard it the most, is that they're targeting it, right? Like it's manipulating the statistic. It's saying expected voters versus registered.
When they do that, what they're doing, the numbers for the masses are designed to either give the masses a false sense of optimism or to demoralize. Okay,
so let's stick on that point right there, because you know we do see a lot of, let's say, black men or men in general turning away from Kamala, but does that energize people enough to go vote?
Not necessarily. A lot of black men are going to choose the couch. They're not going to vote at all, which that's going to hurt the incumbent, which in this case is Kamala Harris, all intents and purposes. Remember, all you need, let's just look at the black vote. All you need is 20%. Now, will they get 20%? Combined with those who are not voting and those who are voting for Trump, maybe you'll get close.
Dude, he's already polling. They're already admitting 16% of the black vote is voting for Trump. Dude, he's definitely getting 20%. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you're, again, I'm on the same page. But if the way you explain it is right, them guys are lying so hard they have to admit he's already almost there. By the way, my buddy wants to say misogyny and brotherhood, this show might save the entire planet. He just texted me.
And I'm not going to monopolize anymore. But look, you talk about lying. You remember election night 2016? They literally lied up until half an hour after the polls closed.
Oh yeah, dude. They lied after the polls closed too, man.
Okay. Hillary had the fireworks ready to go in the Javits Center and all that.
It was one of my favorite nights of my life, man.
They know.
Did y'all see that meme where they talked about, remember that lady in the yellow shirt screaming no whatever? I think Elon most posted it and had it next to what's his name, Tim Walz. It's like, it's funny how it's funny how time works and you age, right? Because they actually do look just alike. We're gonna have to edit a clip and put that in here. But tonight we are talking about Kamala Harris, and really, we've seen the black community in particular have, in general, women at the head, and we've seen what that has done to the black community. And we kind of want to just ask the question, like, if we saw a black woman at the head of this country, will we see the same things that we're seeing in the black community? So, I want to kind of get at this, from a various perspective. But Chaotic, you haven't talked in a while, right? So, do you believe if Kamala Harris, right, is leading the country, would you think it leads to the same erosion of values that we've seen in a lot of the black community?
Yeah, I mean, it would only intensify. Kamala is oh my God, Kamala is first of all, again, she's not black, but it would only intensify with the ignorance in the black community, because she won't speak out against anything that plagues the black community. For example, like abortion. She's not going to address the violence, the criminality. So it only intensify, So I think it's an absolute nightmare, to be honest with you, man, with this woman or any woman in that position of power, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, go ahead, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
interrupt. Oh no. I was just trying to answer the question to the best of my ability, man. Look at what we had the last 3 years. How can you have a strong nation and you have a woman at the helm? You know, men generally follow the lead of another man, not a woman. And the evidence of that is, we had low police recruitment, we had low military recruitment for 3 years. So with the woman in power, man, it's gonna be a lack of accountability beyond epic proportions, man. That's just what I think about it, though.
I mean, but did we have a woman president before? I mean, I thought we had 8 years of one.
Who, Obama?
Like it.
Well, Obama, at the end of the day,
the white man blew Obama's back out. What could you say?
Who?
The white man.
Obama had
that's a joke from Chaotic Show, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say anymore, man. It's like I'm living in a nightmare that I'm just not waking up from with this woman running for president. Yeah,
dude, but Obi will be happy, bro.
He would be, and a lot of people would be
happy. And Linwood, sorry, these are all like super loyal fans of Chaotix that crack me up. So they're the ones rooting for Kamala. There are men out there, real live men, who will spend their entire lives rationalizing how they are not selling everything about their masculinity downriver. It's amazing. It is, because if she runs the country, we are screwed, because idiots like that get power, and we are up. Dude.
And look, let's just not joke around about it. She's not going to be running anything if she were.
Thank God. Thank God.
She would be in the same situation that Biden was in. Okay. Who the hell knows who's running things? Look, this woman.
Who's running it right now?
I honestly believe that she has pseudo-bulbar affect. It's a real ailment that makes you either laugh uncontrollably or just bust out crying. Okay, she's got the laughing part, right? This is not a serious person. This is a woman who talks about cooking collard greens in her bathtub and all kinds of bizarre stuff like that. Can you imagine this woman?
Would you just fall out
talking to Vladimir Putin about anything serious? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Did you see what Putin did to Megyn Kelly? And Megyn Kelly is a hot lady. Did you not see how he totally owned her? And that's a lady who has her wits. In an interview, he was like, he like treated her like a lady. Dude, there's a whole video of it. She giggles at him. Dude.
Wow.
Well,
Kamala's trucked if she's in the room with that old man.
Listen, man, look, Kamala cannot handle an interview with the National Association of Black Journalists. I mean, even going back to that interview, man, they asked her a tough question and she got mad. And then the last question they asked was about joy, and she was like, "You wasn't asked about that a minute ago." Like they weren't supposed to ask her that question, right? So I can't imagine, right, what the leader of the free world would be like when challenged, when faced with these tough situations. I mean, these things aren't easy. Right. Like, these tough conversations aren't easy to have.
Right. I mean, Xi Jinping.
Yeah.
I've never seen this guy smile. I don't think he has the facial muscles to do it. Okay. Can you see Kamala Harris meeting with him? It would just, she wouldn't even have to say anything. It would just look ridiculous on our part.
And it's interesting, like the justification used is because they're saying, we're showing the world that a woman can lead and be in power, and other countries will follow. Man, following has its limits.
Yeah. And other countries have done that. Okay, Margaret Thatcher, Golda Meir, other countries have done that, man. Okay, and then the other thing you get out of China, out of Russia, hell, Russia's had women in many noteworthy roles, especially in their space program. Okay, but it's more of a meritocracy.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, especially. All right. So, meanwhile, we just sink further into it. This is really idiocracy. This is worse than the actual movie, Idiocracy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So take a moment, just take a pause. Right. I want to tell everybody to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Right now, if you're streaming right now from CT's channel, make sure you come over and subscribe on Just the Guys. We're only going to be streaming just a couple more shows right on his channel from Just the Guys. Same thing with Soldiers of Finance. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, Soldiers of Finance. But for just the guys, we're going to be streaming right here. So make sure you hit that likes, share, and subscribe button so you get the notifications also when we go live, and you can stay up to date. Again, we're building a community based on shared values, and we're challenging some of these, these ideas. But just sit back and talking like professional, like grown men do. But yeah, and one last shout out. I want to give a shout out to the ladies of Poppin' Politics. Right, they hit 100K yesterday, so shout out to them. All the hard work going on over there. So if you haven't subscribed to Poppin' Politics as well, make sure you do that as well. All right, I want to come back over to you, to Gimpy. Right, so we talk a little bit about the kind of the impact that Kamala could have, but what historically, what has happened, like when women have had some of these major roles, like in leadership? Have we seen something like this occur before? Has there been situations where it's worked, or
I mean,
are
you can
we
say
headed
that
down the bad path?
you can say that there are plenty of times in history where women have had roles, right? Joan of Arc went crazy and insane and led the France to a religious war. I mean, you can look at that as a win or a loss, but at the end of the day, the whole French country fell apart after she died. So there's that. You have Theresa May in modern England. You can say that Brexit is a result of her poor policies. There are plenty of other examples littered throughout history. Honestly, if we have Kamala Harris, though, it doesn't matter. Those women actually had talent. Yeah, this lady has no talent.
And it's also a question of feminism. Justin Trudeau is feminine as hell, and he is running Canada right into the ground.
Oh, dude, that's so true. My buddy Trevor, man, he's trying to move here now. Like, he used to make fun of America, and now he wants to move here.
So it's not it's not like a male woman thing. It's kind of like, is it masculinity versus femininity, or is it
women are more or naturally, or supposed to be naturally feminine, and it's, I don't know why all of a sudden there's something wrong with that concept, because without it there would be no human race. We need both. It's a yin and a yang, but it's been demonized. You got to be butch, out here these days. But that the feminism, natural feminism, does not lend itself to the type of leadership that it takes to command a country. Okay, hard decisions need to be made, unpopular decisions usually. Okay, and my wife and I were having this discussion. Well, we were watching a show. It's called For All Mankind. It's on Apple. It's a what if the Soviets landed on the moon first. And there's a scene in it where a guy makes a decision to kill a Soviet. And my wife is like, damn, did he have to do that? And I'm like, hell yeah, he had to do it. And we talked about it, but we also talked about the difference between a feminine nature trying to make a decision and a masculine nature making the decision. Okay. There's less compassion that should be in the equation when you have to decide whether or not, hell, man, they just launched nuclear missiles. Fuck them. I'm sending some back, in an extreme example.
So I guess what is it about the feminine essence that doesn't allow for these, for the on the stage of, like, the world stage, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, it lends itself more to compassion. Okay, it lends itself more to taking decisions and really mulling over them. Okay, a guy will tell a story like, hey, I went over to Mondawmin, and then the guy said this, and then I said that. A woman will drag that shit out for half an hour. Okay, so there's a lot more deliberative, pontification. And that doesn't lend itself to the type of. This is why the U.S. military is falling on its ass, because this is why they can't recruit people, because men want to be led by decisive natures, okay, not contemplative natures. No, should I do this? Maybe I should do that. No, just make a decision, okay. So we're seeing it throughout our entire society. feminism is incongruent with the assertive growth of a country, an organization. It just is. Okay. When you want to talk about nurturing, which is important, okay, when you want to talk about instilling values, women come into that, okay, big time. All right. Otherwise, you just have a bunch of, hell, Spartans out there, not maybe that's not a bad thing. But no, they just don't have it when it comes to with Trump. I'm like, I don't give a damn about Xi or Putin. Nothing's gonna happen. Okay.
Shout out to Bob.
Have you got? We are all pretty much in the same age range up here. Bob with the $10 super chat. Women's morality is more personal. Men's morality is more broad based. Men look at rule sets and determine right and wrong. Women look at what makes them feel good and determines the right and the wrong. When I was a kid growing up, right? When you looked at Schwarzenegger, when you looked at Carl Weathers, when you looked at men who were in shape, the chiseled jaw structure, hey, I want to be like that guy. No boy growing up ever said, I want to be fat. No boy. And I would even argue no boy now. The problem with women in leadership roles,
now they just said they want to be a girl.
The problem with women, particularly modern day women and modern day feminism. See, Kamala won't get her ass up on stage and say, women, you're not going to be single mothers. That is not good for the country. You are not going to be. We need a country of women who are going to be. See, women like being lied to. See, a fat woman. What's up, Chadwick, with the $10 super chat? Again, I said it last week. That's why men left the black church, because they want decisiveness. See, women want you to lie to them. So Kamala gets up there, or any woman. Oh, where are the single mothers at? Oh, where are the women who committed abortion at? Where are this? See, a man gets up there, well, real men back in the day, particularly. That's wrong. That's bad. These are the enemies. Right. There's something about that direct nature, and there's something about a man in terms of like what we see in life. Being fat, I gotta say this, man. As a man, you kind of are a loser in a sense, physically speaking. You may have a lot of money, but even when you're 300 pounds as a man, you want to say, damn, man, I need to lose some weight. I need to get in shape. Man, try telling that to one of these big Pakistani women. That's why they live in a delusion. So
that's why they came out with Ozempic.
Look at Lizzo, right? Look at Lizzo. Look at all the support that Lizzo. Look at all the support that Lizzo has gotten over the past few years.
To be fair to Lizzo, she did her thing. To be fair to Lizzo,
does she look like Naomi Campbell from the 90s, or I'm confused?
Well, you got to consider where she was starting from, bro. Like, look, I ain't saying like I'm trying to get her number or nothing. But I'm just saying, I'm celebrating the success that she has.
But see, that's not success, man. And I gotta say it. See, and that's the thing too, man.
And now she's trying to lose all the weight. Now she's trying to get all healthy.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Like, she's taking the steps. Like, I don't know how much she's lost, like 100 pounds.
Dude,
or something.
That ain't shit. Sorry, she got like 600 pounds to go.
I'm just saying, man. I'm proud that she's made that decision.
But what I'm saying is.
Listen, man, if you can get on here and talk about it's okay with Roland Martin, see what you see on Roland Martin's screen, I am going to say
Roland Martin is not okay.
No,
but I get the joke. I get what
not even this much.
Yeah. CT said this. CT was like, "Yo, I get it. Roland Martin, he like butts or whatever." But I'm going to sit here and say, I'm going to sit here and say that I am happy for the direction that Lizzo decided to take. She's working out. She's doing her thing. No, I'm not trying to holler at her. But it is good to see that she understood that those decisions of pacification weren't good for her, and she made the tough decision to go work out and try to get back in shape.
Wants to live to spend them dollars. And
when
the
I
was telling her she's about to die of obesity, what are you talking about?
All right, Bob, with the 1999 super chat, men's nature is to sacrifice for all. Women's nature is to sacrifice for self. Thus, men have to look big picture to see what's best for the community. This predisposes men to be leaders because they have more responsibility. The one thing I would challenge there is that women will kill you for their young.
Mhm.
Yes, they will.
Uh,
Sometimes, or they'll kill their young.
And that's
That's a tough one.
that's a trait in mammals. Okay, so that would happen, but otherwise, yeah, I get you.
Wait, I just want to say something on the super chats. Why is Chad listening through your channel, but and not the
Well,
actual channel? Like, what sort of punk are you, man?
Well, to be fair, that's the only way you can super chat is.
No, I feel that. I'm just busting his balls because I can't.
But it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, what was on? I want to go ahead and play this clip though because I think it just kind of shows what's at stake, and this is from Sage Still right here, and this is just kind of the feedback that she's getting.
Hey guys, I'm at the airport in Nashville. I just wanted to share with you because this has happened so many times over the last couple of days. A woman about my age, a black woman, came up and wanted to tell me how scared she is for herself, her family, and our country if Kamala Harris is elected. I've been here in Tennessee, I've been in Mississippi, I've been in Texas, and I've been in Atlanta over the last week. The number of black people who've come up to me and said exactly that is astounding. And their message is, what do they think? We all vote the same and aren't smart enough to think for ourselves, aren't smart enough to bring an ID to vote. You guys, it's so sad, but it's good that there's a groundswell for this. And I just wanted everybody out there, people who look like me and people who don't, to know you are not alone. And you got to do something about that fear. You can't just sit quietly, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, and do not allow them to take you for granted because of the color of your skin. So we got a fight on our hands, and I just hope and pray that you guys get out there and vote to do the right thing. Don't vote on personality or feelings. Vote on policy and what's best for our country. So you're not alone.
That was a real masculine statement at the end. Don't vote on policy. Don't vote in fast feelings. Vote on policy. And I think that kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier. Like, the caption of the clip there was saying, Kamala's internal pollings is showing something different. But then when you get out here in the real world, you get that feeling that a lot of people are waking up, everywhere except Maryland. But like, CT, are you like when you go out, are you seeing this out there in Ohio? Like, what's going on?
Yesterday or last night, me and the wife and a couple of friends of mine since college, we went out to eat, and I had my other Trump hat on, the one that says Trump, and an old white lady walked over to our table, and verbatim she said, "What would Martin Luther King think about you with that hat on?" And I'm like, I don't know what Martin Luther King would think about me. He's been dead 50-some years, lady. Well, all the struggles your people. I said, lady, we over here eating. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm about to eat this $100 steak. I don't know anything about struggling or oppression. Yada yada yada. And then she yeah. And so a few months prior, I went to the Indians game. They call it the Guardians. I went to the Guardians game, and I did have my head on the swivel in downtown Cleveland with my hat on. I had this hat on, actually. But all these whites at the Indians game, they were giving me thumbs up, high fives. They had this look of reassurance, like, wow.
But what about
it's gonna be okay? Oh, it was some blacks. Oh, it was black guys who were doing valet. They were like, Trump. It was some black dudes doing, and they were young guys. So yeah, it was a lot of support. But that lady yesterday, I think she represented the old guard. Sure. I think a lot of white liberals feel uncomfortable with particularly a black like me. Yeah. They need that narrative of the oppressed Negro. So I don't know. I do go out, but I don't really wear the hat, so I couldn't really tell you. I can only give you those few anecdotal experiences, man.
Oh, baby,
but it was a lot of people at that Indians game, man. It was hundreds of people just looking at me and just, yeah,
there we go.
That's awesome.
Good old little boy. Go
now
ahead.
You're out there in the country, Tyrone. Like, what are you seeing, man?
I don't wear any paraphernalia. I don't do bumper stickers because I just don't want trouble. And I know me, so I know that, like, if I go into Baltimore City, there are 3 outcomes. central booking, shock trauma, or the cemetery. So I'm just a mellow dude. I don't want any trouble. So I got this thing about rocking other people's names. No shade to those who decide to do that, but I don't do other people's names and slogans. There's got to be something associated with me. Okay.
Yeah.
But I will say this.
Yeah.
I will say this. I'm unapologetic in my support for Trump. I'm voting for Trump. And what? Okay, it's my voting. Okay, not yours. And my brother is even worse than me. My brother will challenge you to, he'll argue with anyone. That woman that you encountered, oh man, he still might be that. What woman would have ran out of that restaurant because he would have verbally challenged her on what she was saying. I don't get this, like Sage Steele was saying, don't be quiet. Oh, don't worry. This is my vote. All right. And I don't give a shit who doesn't like it. I'm voting for Trump. And if you ask me, I'll certainly share that with you and the reasons why.
There you go.
Dude, some of your guys hate me. Okay. They hate me. Dude, KJ's trying to trigger me. Dude, yes, I think whoever that righteous whatever muffin, yes, I think we should still give it money to Israel and stop giving money to Ukraine. I hope that makes you cry at night.
Stay on top
yes,
of it, man.
Jews do things wrong in the world too. So, settle down, man.
Hey, man, are we going off topic or what are we doing?
I'm just saying, she's tagged the comments.
Yeah, they can keep going over there, but yeah, hey man, you done messed me up, man.
Sorry.
You were talking about
blame KJ. She's been antagonizing me the whole time.
Who, KJ?
Yeah, she's posted. She keeps bringing up that righteous muffins comments, trying to get me to react, dude.
No, she's just posting comments. She's posting all the comments. She's clicking them down the line.
No, she's not. She keeps going back. All right.
I'm sitting here watching.
Yeah, dude posted that question several times.
That's what I have to jump in and say. He posted it several times, so it's not me. He posted it several times.
KJ.
I'm causing
KJ with her fake English accent, Aussie accent. All right, go ahead and answer the question, man. Go ahead and answer since I lost my train of thought.
Who, me?
With the question dude posed, no, we shouldn't be giving any money to anybody. We've got a $35 trillion debt. Okay, we can't afford to give money to anybody. I don't care who they are. We just can't afford it. Okay, you print up more money, you cause inflation. I bought a $32 chuck roast the other day. That's supposed to be the least expensive cut. All right. No, we can't afford it. Charity begins at home. We got veterans of wars sleeping on the streets. We got children sleeping on the streets right here in Baltimore. Winter's coming. Okay. Giovanni, we got tent cities in Baltimore. We've had them for a while. All right. No, we can't.
And we got migrants moving in that they're not talking about. Because they're opening up all these kind of I don't know. I'm hypothesizing, but they're going through these kind of rehab clinics or what have you, and dumping all these people in these particular neighborhoods, and they're hanging out, breaking into cars, doing drugs and all this stuff. And this kind of goes back to that point of it feels nice to do in the onset, right? I'm trying to help. I'm trying to say this is what I'm doing to help the community. But, I think we'll see more of that under people like Kamala. And, we have a woman for mayor in Baltimore, Brandon Scott. And he's, doing the same type of things, allowing this stuff to happen, just dumping these people because it's compassion. To your point earlier, Tyrone, it's compassion. It's loving. We're giving freely of ourselves, and no one's opening their front door. Like the politicians aren't opening their front doors to let these people in, but it's compassionate to send them in your neighborhood. And this is what's really dangerous about a Kamala presidency. Not only is it anti-family, it's destroying, you know, the very fabric of our country, you know, our communities. You know, property rights are essentially now gone by the wayside, right? You know, don't leave your, I mean, what they were doing in California, just no longer leaving their car doors locked for fear of breaking in, right? You're not locking your doors because, you know, it's entitled to anyone else is entitled to your stuff. You know, you're paying this absorbent amount of taxes, and people love funding the government to absolve their
Communism
responsibility.
didn't even work for the communists, dude.
Right. But I mean, this is the dangerous part, and you know, I hate that Kamala's essentially trying to hide in blackface, because you guys know I'm a big proponent of the book Color Communism, Common Sense, and this race card has been so effectively used that any idea that's pushed, particularly by a black person, you cannot oppose it because you're then called a racist, right? You're then a racist. And then that term racist has ignited the black community so well, right? And you see it still here in Baltimore. And that's why Baltimore will probably turn out and vote for Kamala at a rate of at least 80%. It's not going to be as high as like she would expect, but it is going to be overwhelmingly high because you do have that loyalty of she's a black woman. Baltimore is a majority black city, and you're going to see places like this. Well, I think Baltimore is a little behind and stuff like that, but you're going to see urban environments by and large, particularly black women, vote for Kamala just simply for compassion.
Yeah, I mean, the black community has been trained. Lyndon B. Johnson, when he was about to sign the Civil Rights Act, he said, "I'll have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 100 years." And so far, I mean, he's like 50 years in, 60 years in. He's been correct. Okay, we don't even need. It's no longer a point where we even need. I used to talk about the voting right. Oh, we'll make sure the Republicans don't take away the Voting Rights Act, which is pure garbage. Okay, but that's something we used to always fall for, right? But now they don't even need to do anything like that. They can just say, "Look, I'm a darker shade in terms of my complexion," and that's all we need. And if we want to throw a little icing on the top, we could say, "Yeah, and we'll help you kill your babies too, whenever you like." That's all you need. And black women are supporting this. And the other thing that confuses me about black women is this. So they're about to give the title of first female black president to an Indian. Okay? So black women can never recapture that once it's written in the history books if it were to happen. And they're okay with that.
But that's the thing, though, right? Like, again, if you speak against a black person, right, you're already automatically demonized. So Kamala has now put on this label as black because that literally puts up this big shield, right? And you automatically get those emotionally charged people in your corner, right? So now when you prove that she's not black, again, the logic doesn't kick in. It's the emotion that kicks in. And now, oh, you're just trying to take down a black woman. All she had to do was say she was black.
Right.
And she got you. She got you. And now, and I think people should be, especially black women, should be against Kamala just for the simple fact that she hasn't received a single vote. That in itself tarnishes like the entire legacy. The first black woman got there because she snuck in the back door. Or she, I mean, there's so many other ways.
That's not how history will remember her. Like you, so it's really nice to talk about how we sit here, but if she does become the first female black president, history will remember her as the one who saved the republic as it burnt down around her. I'm sorry, like that's how it works.
History's written by the victor, so yeah.
Righteous Muffin, $5 super chat. Gimpy, why should we fund Israel and not Ukraine? What has Israel done for our country? I don't know. Right now, the FDA is in the process of approving a pacemaker like no other on earth. The reason why I know about it is my niece is one of the lead engineers on it for an Israeli company. And the fact is that they have double the effort to get it approved here in the United States, even though the government here already knows it's revolutionary and will save lives, because it's Israel, and they don't want to show like they're showing favoritism. And it becomes this much harder process for a company like that. And that's just one of millions of things that Israel does for the United States and its relationship. Whereas Ukraine is a cesspool where the CIA and the three-letter agencies have fun all day on our tax dollars. So it's not like I love the other side in that fight. It's that if I'm looking at what benefits this country as a whole, Israel actually has a bilateral relationship to the country, while Ukraine just sucks off our teat endlessly with nothing in return.
Man, also, I'll add, man, because I've been over to Israel. I spent 2.5 months there. It was the best time of my life, man. But there's a lot of tech that comes out of Israel, tech and development that's like critical to the security of, not just Israel, but the U.S., and quite frankly, nations across the globe, right? So there is a lot of benefit in what Israel is doing. I think people just kind of look at this in one point of view, like, well, are they sending their military to protect us? No, there's other kind of benefits that people or nations provide to one another, right? And just from the space of technology alone, right? Israel is the number one cybersecurity country on the planet.
And look, that's true. And I'll go back to my point. We literally, okay, this isn't like hyperbole, cannot afford foreign aid at this point. Now, if we want to continue to support allies, including Israel, we got a State Department, beef up our diplomacy, beef up the negotiation aspect. But unfortunately, America's business is war. That's our export. Okay. The rest of the world, their business is business. Our business is war. Especially lately, we want to solve everything at the point of a gun. Okay. How long do you think that's going to, be the go-to for us? How long do you think the world is going to allow us to do that? Look at what's going on with the BRICS nations. Okay. The world is standing up and saying, hey, wait a minute, man. Come on now. You've got an economic agreement.
We can turn that around in a heartbeat.
Hold on. Iran and Saudi Arabia are joint signatories in BRICS. So there's one thing they agree on, making money. Okay. So, and these guys have been going at it for years, right? Decades. Okay. Generations, if you look at it from a tribal standpoint. But somehow, China, Russia, Brazil, India, and South Africa got them to agree on money. The United States needs to beef up our diplomacy, all right, and stop looking at every problem as a situation for military intervention.
So how do we get to that, right? How do you have history in the military and some of the inner workings, and I don't know how far you can go, but like why go that route versus peace? And I think Trump said it, like, I want people to stop dying versus I want Ukraine to win the war.
Right. I mean, and we got to talk about these things. And guess what, America? Everything's not McDonald's. You don't get peace instantly. Okay. It may take several presidents. This is, an ongoing effort. In the case of Ukraine and Russia, that thing goes way back. Okay. You can argue that he's trying to put the Soviet Union back together. Okay, fine. What you can't argue is that, this whole bullshit about, he's going to invade Poland next. Have you actually looked at his military strength, personnel, and non-nuclear equipment?
Can't even get out of Ukraine's backyard throwing 300,000 men at it, man.
He's not going to invade Poland. That's just something.
He doesn't want NATO firepower.
He doesn't want NATO. He can't go to war.
They're threatening cruise missiles, right? Like, okay, let's be realistic here. The Ukraine war is a joke. For anyone who thinks that this is a war that we're fighting to win is a moron. I'm sorry, right? Because what's the current situation? Whether we're going to approve cruise missile hits into Russia. Why? Because Russia's response to dealing with cruise missile fire is nukes. I'm going to nuke you. That's what he says back, right? That's what we're afraid of, is that we use a missile that everyone has. They have it, we have it, but his instant response is nukes, and we're afraid that he's going to invade Poland. The dude can't get out of Ukraine's backyard. Exactly. He threatens nukes for...
Exactly. He has no expeditionary capability. He can... Ukraine's right next door, and he's having trouble with expeditionary capability to them. But what he does have is the largest nuclear arsenal, and Russia developed the most powerful, highest yield nuclear weapon. Okay, so he does have that, and Russia invented the cruise missile. Okay, their technology with that and hypersonic missiles, that's a concern. Okay, so I know we want to feed Northrop Grumman, and we want to, this is why they hate Trump. Okay, because Trump is going to use diplomacy as opposed to war. You use a cruise missile, guess what? This is a great business to be in, because you blow up Ahmed. I need another missile. I need Raytheon. You got to build me another $1 million missile. Okay? That's the business we're in America, sadly. So when someone asks, well, you want to fund this? I don't want to fund anything if it has to do with war. I want a strong military to protect us here at home. If we get another, guy with a funny mustache come out of nowhere and the world needs to, get involved, okay. But that's not what we have here.
Apparently that guy with the funny mustache is right here in America. They keep trying to shoot him. They keep trying to shoot him. But what happens, like, if Kamala is the president? Like, I think we're already on the brink of World War III. But what happens?
We continue these conflicts. May start another one. Okay, may push China into Taiwan.
But at some point, this has to hit U.S. soil, right?
That's tough, because look, realistically speaking, the only ones that are close to expeditionary capability, that means the power to get up and come to your country and wage war. We're the only ones that really have it. China's close, okay, but not really there, okay? Maybe they can take over some islands in the South Pacific, but the only way you impact mainland United States is with a nuke.
But that right there is scary in itself, right?
For 30 minutes, and then you won't have any more fears. We live in the DC metro area. It'll be over for you in 30 minutes.
But to me, that right there is, I don't know, like, it's kind of to tie it back to the discussion. I mean, the whole emotionalism and what we've seen with women leading the Black community and the destruction that it's been. I mean, you guys remember the Moynihan report? I forgot which years it was, but at that point in the report, it was 25% out of wedlock births in the Black community. And now we're looking at over 75%. And, our kids now, particularly Black kids, aren't getting, good education, malnourished, they're feminized, a lot of them are going to jail, and the list goes on, right? And this is the destruction that we've seen in the Black community, and then there's so many ways that can go, and now with that at the head of the country, right? It is almost like we're dropping a nuke. We're dropping the nuke on our own selves.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. No doubt. Somebody mentioned, tell that to the survivors of Hiroshima. That bomb, little boy, is nothing compared to the megatonnage we have today. You gotta study up on that kind of stuff before you make those kinds of comments. It's nothing. Why do you think we don't have bomb shelters anymore? Because they won't protect us. Okay. As far as what you just raised, look, the economic fact, there are economic detriments to being a single mother or single father for that matter. But you know, we have more single mothers in the country. And a good deal of them, about 35%, live below the poverty level. Okay. That's serious. That's real. What do you think the children of that type of household, what do you think their prospects are going to be? We see it in Baltimore City. So
I want you to pause on that idea of prospects right now, because like, what are the kids looking up to, right? You're almost building this no hope situation. You can't win. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean you're look, the other thing that's coming down the pike is a shrinking of certain types of opportunities, these bridge opportunities that can take you from inner city low income to something better. Because you've got two revolutions that are coming in. One is AI, okay, and the one no one is really talking about or really understands is quantum computing. Once you put those two things together, okay, you're going to have, they're going to be no more customer service jobs. Okay, that's done. We just took a look at a system a couple of days ago that's going to do some prospecting for us. It's AI, and it even has the power to emote and empathize.
Wow.
And that's today. Okay.
Wow.
So these bridge opportunities, like when I was in college, I had a customer service job for Verizon. And when I left that company, I left as an international lobbyist. Okay. But today, there's no way to get that bridge is gone. That foot in the door is gone. So you're going to have that because, you know, if you come up affluent and you go to Yale, Harvard, Brown, then you can leverage relationships.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not really there for folk who are at or below the poverty line, like 35% of single mother households.
Man, I want to kind of echo that, but to just kind of stick on that, because you guys know I'm here in Baltimore, and I care about Baltimore. Chaotic said I shouldn't, but I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing, right? But the whole idea of the bridge opportunities, right? You have all these people that want to help Baltimoreans, right? People come out from all over, man. We got to bring these kids up. We got to, introduce them to different things that are out there, right? First off, when you have the programs, no one shows up to them, right? Whatever it is, like I want to teach you finance, or I want to teach you engineering, or I want to teach you sales training, or teach you plumbing or carpentry or something like that. No one shows up to them. And then two, the people that do show up are so far behind from a critical thinking perspective, from a math perspective, from a reading and comprehension perspective, that, like you said, the bridge from getting from here to here is literally gone, right? So, when the left does talk about, you creating this gap, it's true, but the ones that are creating are making the gap wider are, you're the ones that supporting these policies that's making the gap wider, right? So that's a huge point, Tyrone, about the whole idea of the bridge, because we are, with the lack of education, with this whole feel-good movement led mostly by women, and especially by black women, it's literally setting us up for our own demise. CT, man, you haven't said anything in a while. You've been popping in and out of the chat of the stream. What's going on, man?
What's the question?
Man, just chime in on that.
Well,
man.
I mean, how about this? Give me a question about Baltimore. You want to do that?
Man, you can't talk about Baltimore. I know about Baltimore.
It's hopeless, man. It's hopeless, bro. It's
Man, you ain't
hopeless.
talk about my city, man.
Well, it's not just Baltimore, man, but it's hopeless, bro.
So let me ask you this: who stands to benefit from this gap. If we don't close this bridge, right, who benefits the most?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. The people who benefit should be the exploiter. I'm to the point now where I would come to Baltimore. I would try to open up every liquor store. I would try to open up liquor stores and corner stores, man, because it's and it's not just Baltimore. Like the thing in Chicago, I would try my best to exploit the situation there, man. I've given up, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but you can't help certain people anymore. You got to exploit them, and you have to practice a level of brutality. Whether it's purchasing shares of stock. I mean, I can't think of the companies that deal with the prison pipeline, but what's the one company to make all the like the clothing for the I can't think of the damn name of the company. But anyway, that's
Orange
what I would
Clip & Co?
It's I can't think of the damn name, but it's like $5 billion companies. I would get into the prison. I would get into stocks. I would do everything possible to exploit what I see right now. You can't. You're not. Malcolm X couldn't do it. Martin Luther King couldn't do it. I would exploit people at this point.
So I would
like baby mamas. I would start. You know, whoever produces diapers. I know the parent company. I don't know who the parent company, whatever the brand is, but I would look at who the parent company is, and I would just start investing, man. Like it's the haves and the have-nots. It's fat cats and starving dogs, and we've always had it like this. You're not gonna save these people, man. You're not gonna save.
Look, the myth of the largely myth of the American dream. People are waking up to it, literally. The middle class is shrinking. Okay, so yeah, this country is going to look like a lot of other countries in short order with the haves and the have-nots. Look, I've had the same conversation with you. As far as you in Baltimore, you're the black Don Quixote running around tilting at windmills, man. You are Ahab running around. Okay, it's just you're a good guy, but and I understand where your heart is, but hey, man, look, you got like a savior complex, and when I was a firefighter,
there ain't no savior complex.
Check
Man.
it out. Yes, you do, because you want to help folk that don't want your help. You just said they don't show up for the events.
No,
okay?
I said that's what they're doing. I'm getting stuff on the ballot.
Okay, and yet Baltimore schools continue to, spiral downward. All of the metrics are in the toilet. Crime is up. Okay, cops don't give a shit. Property values. You just did this show with this Pop and Politics where we talked about the dwindling population. Okay, of Baltimore. They lose about a percentage point of population every year. So, I guess you'll turn the lights off. And I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to be antagonistic with you. I'm just saying, hey, look, man, you're one of these guys that has a lot more to offer than chasing around after a bunch of people who don't want your help. Okay.
Man, I think I see Baltimore is unique, man, because I think there's a lot of people that do that are in the right place. It's just Baltimore's just different. I've been some other places. Baltimore's just different, man. And it does grow on you. And man, Tyrone, man, you're from Baltimore, like
I am. That's why I'm able to say this. That's why I'm able to say this, because I am from West Baltimore, North and Duke.
Yeah,
I know what you're dealing with.
Down the street from me.
Hey, and
no, but I saw this comment that I did want to bring up. Hold on, because it's talking about George Soros. And I will say, man, that is so true. Like even with the elections in 2020, between Facebook and a lot of Soros funded foundations, right? They were, and granted, Maryland is a deep blue state, yet they are using us as a kind of like a test ground for what can be done across the country with the influence. I think it was Facebook back then. I mean, it's Meta now, but Facebook and some of the other influencers. Google not so much, but they had something to do with it through nonprofits. But Soros, right, is he was behind what Marilyn Mosby,
Yeah.
right? Soros is, and if you look at a lot of the nonprofits, right, and they're so good at this, they have like one or two layers of kind of donors, and then they collect small donations from their community, but a large part of their funding comes from dark money sources, 2 or 3 layers, but it's all Soros funded, right? And they complain about me and my little ballot initiative because I got a single donor and he lives in Baltimore County, and it's all public information. You can get the records, and they demonize me when they have all these organizations, and that's the beautiful part of what they do. They're so organized that it looks like it's widespread support for things that are literally destroying our country, when it's just a few small people with big pockets that are hiring people to run these nonprofit organizations so they can post every day on social media, they can organize and rally, and it's these are the things that that are killing our city too. And then Kamala's doing the same thing. I mean, pay for the crowds, same nonprofits, same Soros funded initiatives. She's getting people out. They're all bust in.
So why bother? Go and how many kids you got?
But when do you fight, man? Like,
how many kids you got? How many kids you got?
I got 2.
All right, you got 2 kids. This is how you fight. You go make $1 million, okay?
Mhm.
And then you cultivate all of these ideals. You continue to cultivate them in your children, and they go out, do what they want to do. And I mean, who the hell cares?
They hate me, CT.
Who the hell cares about Baltimore? Okay,
and look, Baltimore is where. Listen, Baltimore is where I bought my little piece of America, right?
Yeah, well, you should get a refund.
Sell it and buy a house in Howard County.
Dude, buy a house in Anne Arundel where I live, right outside Baltimore, so you can throw rocks at Baltimore from where you live.
Sell it. Get out of Baltimore City. Look, if I had a dime for everybody who I've heard over the decades say, "Oh, Baltimore's coming back. Baltimore, we're revitalizing this. Revitalizing that." Okay.
I had an interview with the councilman. I had a debate with the councilman on Monday, and that's exactly what he said. We're on the brink of a rebound.
Sure. I've been hearing that for half a century. Okay.
If you had $1 for every time somebody said that.
Oh, I'd have a lot of dollars. I'd have a lot. I heard it. I first remember hearing it about Utah and North Avenue. This was back in the 80s. They were putting up townhouses. The townhouses are still there in the midst of chaos, but they were supposed to be the focal point for this revitalization. Some developer got a couple of $1 million. He's living in, North Dakota somewhere on a 15-acre ranch. And Negroes are still down there killing each other on Utah and North. And I'm telling you, man, look, we can make a bet. We can make a multi-year bet. You bet Ruth Chris, man, whatever. Give it 10 years, and you're going to be like, it's not going to take 10 years, but within the next decade, you're going to be like, you're not even going to say anything to us. You're just going to invite us to your housewarming party in Howard County. And we're going to be like, damn, you bought a new house? Yeah, man, I had to get out of there.
Man, I mean, it is going to happen at some point. I'm not going to lie about that. I mean, I'm not going to stay here, but I'm just saying. But I would say this, man. I did post a video on my Facebook 4 years ago now, 5 years ago actually, because I was running for office, and I noticed that Baltimore is being emptied out, and it's kind of like what's going on with essentially what's going on with the country. It's the urban areas are being emptied out, to replace them with people that are a new loyal class, right? It's going to be a new loyal class, and I think effectively that's what you're going to get with a Kamala presidency. Is you're going to get a great replacement. You're going to see a lot of new people become citizens to continue to vote, the same way. And I don't know, man. I hate to say doom and gloom stuff, but what do we need to do, right? This is we're building this community, but
it's
overall,
not
like,
doom
what
and
do we
gloom
need
at
to
all, man. My future looks bright. Okay, because I'm not worried about folk that
You got gold bars under the
don't want
hat.
to come along. Okay, there's a lot of opportunity out there. All right, people choose to worship materialism and celebrity. Fine, do you? Okay, and I'll do me. I'm not trying to. Freud said that by the time you're 8 years old, you are basically who you are going to be. Okay, so I'm not trying to talk to a 20-year-old and convince him. Look, I can't even relate. I've never been arrested. I have not so much as a point on my driver's license. I look at the concept of prison and say, why would I want to be there? Some look at it and say, hey, it's a rite of passage. All right, well, we'll never agree. Okay, do you? All right, I'm not getting involved with trying to change that type of mentality. The poorest people, like my mother, recognize the importance of education. All right, but there are a lot of people who don't give a shit about their child's education. Why should I? All right, sorry.
So we got a couple over here. These two on the left side of your screen. I think they're in some type of relationship. I got this little inside giggle jokes going on.
Giovanni, did I ever tell you my my moon story?
No.
I never told you guys my moon story.
Mm-mm.
So my first job when I graduated from college, I took up a little factory job, right before I got hired as a probation officer. And it was an older guy there, black guy. And I don't know how we got into the conversation of the moon. Or no, was it no, it was the sun. It was the sun. Jesus Christ, it was so long ago. It was like 2008 or 2009. I can't remember. And I was just talking, and I was like, yeah, man, the sun is 93 million miles away. Giovanni, the nigga said, he's in his mid-50s. He said, man, how you know the sun that far away? They ain't got a ruler that long. Giovanni, I swear to God, I thought he was joking. Man, the nigga wasn't joking, man. And that's one of the first times that I realized that something's wrong with a lot of people, particularly blacks. Man, I've given up, man. I'm sort of like soldiers of fortune, man. Soldiers of finance. I don't have a doom and gloom outlook on life. I don't care about the illegals. I don't care about the kids in Baltimore who can't read, because it doesn't affect me. My life is awesome, and and honestly, man, I want to get to the position where I can exploit people like these people. I want to figure it out, because the Arab, he exploits niggas. The Arab don't care. Chinese exploit people when they come over here. Why is it everybody can figure it out, man? But natural born Americans. I want to be a part of that. I want to be. I don't want to be volunteering in mint. Nah, hell nah. And so the finance is correct. Helping some nigga who 20. Yeah, right.
I guess my idea is like I want to be of value, right? I mean, it's just who I am. Like, I just want to be of value, and I'm not sitting here seeking. Like, don't get me wrong, right? I don't spend time with people who are going to waste time, right? I'm not going to sit there and, like, if you're not serious, like, we can move on. Like, we can, but there is something to, like, when you think about people like George Washington or people like Frederick Douglass or Booker T. I mean, there was a lot of people who said, no, we shouldn't work for ourselves. Or in the case of Frederick Douglass, like, there were people who didn't want to learn to read, right? Because then you're personally responsible. But that didn't prevent them from saying, like, I'm one, going to be an example, and two, I'm going to advocate for the opportunity for you to do this, and you can take advantage of it or not. That's all I'm saying. Is I just want to be of value.
You come to me you come to me and ask me something about something I know, and you want that information, sure, I have no problem with that. Okay, you want to learn how to maybe start a business? Okay, fine, let's have that conversation. But what I'm saying is, and I got a similar story to that, man. I was in the fire department, and we were coming back from a call, and the sun was setting. Okay, and the guy said, one of the guys said, "Oh, look, the sun's going down over there." And I said something about it setting in the west, and he said, "Well, how do you know that?" I said, "Well, that it rises in the east and it sets in the west." And he said, "Does it do that every day?" I said, "Far as I'm aware, yeah." There are literally folk out there that don't have basic, and this is a great guy, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, he thought the sun just sets randomly wherever the hell it wants to, whenever it wants to. Okay, great guy. But this is, I mean, I don't know how to bridge the gap there. There's a lot missing. There's a whole lot missing. And I'm not a teacher. Okay, that's not my job.
I mean, I get it. I mean,
Job is to exploit them.
Some people are. So Gimpy, you haven't said anything in a while, and I know somebody's.
I'm enjoying the show, man.
Somebody's. It looks like somebody wants to.
Oh, they want to hash out every Jewish conspiracy theory ever known to man in a single chat.
All right, so that means we need to launch a new show with. We actually have a channel for him. Let's Be Clear is the name of the channel. So Gimpy needs to launch his show now. It seems like, so we might have to plan.
I have a whole crew of people who hate me.
Yeah, we might have to plan that one out because you seem to have a large following here, courtesy of CT. All right, we're gonna land this plane, guys.
Good.
Y'all vote. It's my own fault. I come on his show all the time and antagonize them.
Yeah, y'all voting for Kamala?
Not really.
All right,
unless I die between now and election day.
Yeah, that would be a way for you.
Kamala would do real well, and I'm serious about this. If she had an afternoon talk show, that's what she really would excel at. Like
just the right amount of drunk at that point.
You get a lot of mindless chicks to watch. Like she could kind of do well competing against The View.
I don't know. Even Oprah couldn't take it. I don't know. Oprah couldn't take it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Oprah was like, "Damn, man, when is this interview over with this bitch?"
Dude, she was like, "I could run myself."
Yeah,
that's what Oprah's thinking. I could be president.
Yeah, she probably should have. I mean, Trump said, "Yeah, my running mate would be Oprah back in the day."
Yeah.
But look, all right, guys, we got a lot going on. Metro Conservative Media. So make sure you guys check out our other shows: Poppin' Politics, All American Talk, KJ Christian Conservative, KJ the Christian Conservative. And again, shout out to Poppin' Politics for hitting that 100K. We got a couple of events coming up. We'll post them on the channel, but in Baltimore on October the 18th, and we're going to post the link on the community tab. We're having an event, an informed voter series that's actually being put on by the ladies of Poppin' Politics. We have Chad O. Jackson coming. We have Dave Anderson from Philly. We got myself, some others that will be speaking at that event. So that's October the 18th. We're going to post the link in the community tab. So make sure you come over to Just the Guys and hit the subscribe button. But yeah, other than that, man, we're going to be out of here. Any final thoughts, guys?
I'll go. I really believe we are on the cusp of going into the space age, and a lot of people ain't coming with us. That's all I gotta say. Can't have niggas shooting dice on the space station. So I think what's happened is just a good thing. I think that just let the dumb people just die off, or I don't know how it's gonna work. But hey, I want to go into the space age. I won't be here to see it, but I think that's where we are actually going. Yeah.
Yep.
Final thoughts. Sorry. If she wins, we're screwed. So Trump. Yeah. That's my final thought for tonight.
Take a look at educate yourself on quantum computing.
Oh yeah.
You think AI is something, really educate yourself on quantum computing. This could be something that revolutionizes the human race or ends it.
Sometimes that might not be a bad thing.
I mean, we've seen all those movies. But guys, again, thank you for chopping it up with us tonight. This is Just the Guys. And again, don't vote for Kamala unless you're an emotional female. Then I guess do your thing.
Still don't vote for her.
Peace.